Hey, it's BrickTsar. I've been collecting Lego a really long time. I'm not going to use the monkey this time. And so over the years, I've learned different things about buying Lego sets. One of the things as a kid, I remember growing up in the 70s, is I couldn't afford certain Lego sets. I used to dream of getting some of the bigger sets. We couldn't afford them. And years later, I was like, oh, I really wish I could have got that set that came out uh, back then, but nobody has it anymore. There's nowhere that you can buy it because in the 80s and the 90s there was no eBay or BrickLink. eBay came around in the late 90s, but the only way to find a discontinued Lego set was to find it at a yard sale or a flea market or something like that. And so for years there were Lego sets that I wanted from the past that I couldn't get. I knew they had existed from looking at them in the catalogs or seeing them in the stores, but I couldn't get them. Well, along comes the internet. My first time having the internet was in 1997. I kind of got turned away from technology for a few years. I probably would have got into it sooner, but I didn't get a computer that could actually handle the internet until 1997. And once that came along, then I started discovering all the different things, the websites that featured Lego, which were kind of, in that time period, were kind of rudimentary. What's the word? They were simple. Because everybody's on dial-up back then. So there were some really good databases that had set lists, a few that even had pictures of old sets, and even some like Puron, which had the inventories of the sets. So actually some of the sets that I wanted as a kid, because they were mostly, in that generation, in the 70s, they were mostly common parts, I was able to piece them together from acquiring pieces in lots and things like that. So the question then is, let's say you're wanting to get a set that you missed. It's discontinued. What is the best way to go about doing that? And that's a question Mardi Gras Man discussed in his recent video. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to mention a couple of things about that and my thoughts on piecing together Lego sets or just buying the thing sealed or buying it used. What is the best way? So this year, in 2018, I made a top 11 list of 11 sets that I want to get. And so far, we've knocked off a bunch of those sets. In fact, I'm not even sure the exact total. I know there's at least 3 that I still need to get, which is the Darth Maul UCS set, the motorized truck from the early 70s or late 60s, set 371, and the 810 Town Plan or Town whatever set. So the others I've gotten in a variety of ways. Well, I take it back. There's one that I need like 4 pieces to complete it. It is the Galaxy Explorer. We are so close to finishing that up. I just need a couple of doors, just literally is like 4 or 5 pieces, and we'll have that one complete. So that one, the Galaxy Explorer, I had tons of spare parts for Classic Space, so I was able to piece together most of it, and we've just been bricklinking a few of the parts, and it really didn't cost that much to get the few parts that we were missing so far. So that's one way to do it, especially for the older sets. I think piecing together a set works much better for sets made from the 80s on back, because a lot of the old sets, even the big, so-called big sets from the 80s, they didn't have a lot of pieces. And if they did, they were usually a lot of common pieces. For instance, I want to build the 371 motorized truck and the 810 Town Plan. It's very unlikely that I'm going to find one of those for sale. I have seen the 810 Town Plan set for sale in the past, but it doesn't come up for sale very often. I've never seen the motorized truck for sale. I guess I should look on BrickLink, but pretty sure it's not for sale. But it is mostly common pieces from that era, so I can probably put it together relatively inexpensively. The 810 Town Plan, that one will still be expensive because it's got a lot of rare and breakable parts, but since I'm not likely to find one complete for sale, then I'll just do my best at piecing it together. So piecing together things, I only recommend that if you have already access to a lot of parts or you buy bulk lots. A lot of the sets I have in my collection, I bought bulk lots on eBay. When I say bulk lot, that's a set or a eBay listing that had several sets in it or just random parts in it. Sometimes I would look at the pictures and you could see parts from particular sets, and I'd buy those, and I found that would be a much cheaper way to complete a collection than to buy the individual sets. So I don't know if Mardi Gras Man, I'm trying to remember, did he mention this? He did mention buying complete sets, and of course complete on eBay and even on BrickLink, sadly, is often not complete. We just got a couple of train sets the other day, and one was almost complete. It was missing a sticker and one other piece, but I actually think I dropped the piece, so I think it actually did have the piece. I just lost it, but it definitely was missing a sticker, which to me, it needs to have all the stickers if it's going to be complete. But that one wasn't so bad. But a lot of times you'll see them, they got the wrong pieces, the wrong minifigures, or just outright just missing pieces. So that's a common problem, especially on eBay. I think the only way to avoid that is to buy a sealed set, which is going to cost you a lot more. But the way I've found the cheapest way to do it, especially for the older stuff, is instead of buying the one set, is to buy a group of sets. And actually, sometimes if you do that, let's say you want this one set and it's in a group with like 10 other sets, you could buy the whole lot and then sell the sets that you didn't want from that. This could actually work where you could actually end up getting your set essentially for free. I guess technically it's not free because you have to put the work and the time into verifying the other sets, but I've required many duplicates of sets this way, and that's what I look to do in the future. I actually took a set that I meant to put at the yard sale when we went to Philly Brick Fest. There were like 4 or 5 different items I forgot to put in the yard sale, and one of them was a vintage set that I had multiple copies of. So I'll have to save that for next year. Maybe next year at the yard sale I'll take some of my duplicates for that, or I may just list them in my BrickLink store or on eBay. So those are just a couple of things I wanted to add in addition to what Mardi Gras Man 23 said in his video. Of course, the easiest way, and probably if you're a collector that you really want good condition, you're going to want to buy sealed sets, and that can be very, very difficult to find at a good price, especially if something you want is particular value. But keep checking around. You never know. Sometimes people mislist things on eBay. They don't have it exactly right, or sometimes it's grouped in with other things that aren't even Lego. I know I bought a lot one time that had Lincoln Logs and Lego and play school stuff, so you never know. Sometimes you'll find things at a Goodwill. I've actually found sealed items at Goodwill, not always Lego items, but I figure if I'm finding a sealed Nanoblocks set at a Goodwill, then there's probably people that have found sealed Lego sets at Goodwill. So what are some things that you have done to get that set that you really wanted from your collection? Tell me in the comments below. How do you like using eBay versus BrickLink versus a brick and mortar store like a Goodwill or the flea market? There's one guy that comes every year to Philly Brick Fest, Aaron. Cheap Aaron Bricks. And he's had a lot of success of buying used sets. A lot of times these sets are dirty or they're missing pieces, but they're such great deals, man. And I'm going to be showing these in upcoming videos for our hauls from Philly Brick Fest. Got some really good deals. And so these are sometimes it's such a good deal, you don't mind if it's actually missing some pieces. So that's another way. And then if you get something really dirt cheap, then finishing it out by having to go on to BrickLink or something and buy the missing parts is not that big a deal. But he's had a lot of success, and I don't want to reveal all his secrets because I like getting the good deals from him as well. But tell me what you do, and keep looking for those Lego deals, and I'll see you in the next video. Be sure to check out Mardi Gras Man 23 and his video on the topic. I want to thank Mardi Gras Man 23 also, because in the 6 years that I've been, almost 6 years now that I've been doing this, he's given me some of the really best ideas that I've had for videos, and that's why I enjoy doing this series with him, also because he's a cool guy. So thanks Mardi Gras, thanks Earl, and we'll see you in the next video.